In this story, we are shown that due to the spread of a deadly virus, all humans in the world have turned into zombies. But these are not ordinary zombies. They are so fast that they can even catch a running airplane. Some are so cunning that they can think in ways beyond humans. And some zombies can smell and track their targets from several kilometers away. But in this world, surrounded by such danger, now only two humans are left alive. Will these two survive or not? Let's find out in today's video. At the beginning of the story, we see a boy sitting in his room watching cartoons on TV when suddenly the TV signal cuts off and an emergency report starts appearing on the screen. This news wipes away the boy's smile. The TV announces that a very deadly virus has spread all over the world, turning infected people into terrifying zombies within just a few minutes. This virus spreads extremely fast and the entire world has already come under its grip. The TV also announces that whoever is watching this broadcast should quickly find a safe place for themselves. The boy is still watching all this when suddenly a strange noise comes from the upstairs room. Hearing that sound, the boy's breath gets stuck in his throat. He slowly goes upstairs and finds out that it was just a prank by his elder sister. After that, the two kids go to their mother's room where they see their mother is very worried. She is on the phone with her husband telling her about the situation. Her husband, who is a pilot, tells his wife and children that the virus is spreading rapidly everywhere. That's why they should not wait for him at home but somehow leave the city quickly. He tells his children, "Don't worry, nothing will happen to you. Your mother will take you to a safe place." He then shows them the lucky bracelet on his wrist, which was made by his daughter Abigail. Seeing this, Abigail becomes very happy. Meanwhile, their mother hurriedly starts packing up things. Suddenly, they hear screams coming from outside, so she quickly takes both her children and rushes out of the house. Just as they are about to get into the car, suddenly a zombie attacks the children's mother. Out of fear, Abigail hides under the car, and right before her eyes, she sees her little brother and mother being killed by the zombie. That zombie doesn't notice the little girl and leaves from there. The girl is trembling with fear when she suddenly sees that her mother has also turned into a zombie. Her zombie mother sees her daughter and starts moving toward her, and before she can attack her daughter,
At that very moment, an uncle appeared like an angel. He killed Abigail's mother and saved Abigail. A little later, they saw that Abigail's younger brother was also turning into a zombie. So the man told the girl to cover her ears, and then he shot her little brother who had become a zombie. After this, the scene shifts 10 years later. We see that because of the zombie virus, human civilization has been completely destroyed. Cities that once shone brightly with lights are now deserted. By now, almost all humans are either dead or wandering around as zombies, and only two people are left alive. The little girl Abigail, who was saved by the uncle, has now grown up. From that day until now, Abigail was raised under Uncle Jack's care, and he trained her to fight against zombies. If Jack hadn't come into her life that day, Abigail would have been dead by now. That's why she considers Jack as her father. After living alone in the jungle for so many years, Abigail now feels very lonely. Her greatest wish is to find a human settlement where she can live among people. But Jack doesn't like living with people at all. One night, when they were camping in the forest, Jack suddenly woke up to a sound. He slowly stepped out of the tent, and suddenly a zombie attacked him. But Jack fired several bullets and killed it. Abigail also arrived there. After hunting zombies in the forest for the past 10 years, both of them had gained enough experience to know that zombies usually move in herds. They realized there must be more zombies nearby, so they quickly prepared to leave and rode off on their horses. While riding, their horses started neighing. Jack understood that danger was near. Looking around, they saw in the distance a jeep overturned by zombies where a normal human was trying to protect himself from them. Now, since so few humans were left in the world, they had to save this man at any cost. Jack also wanted to test Abigail's aim. So he told her, "You will save this man so I can know if you are fully trained or not. Calmly aim at your target and then shoot." But Abigail fired hastily. Her bullet hit both the zombie and the survivor. Seeing this, Jack got very angry at her. Then the two of them went near the man and saw that he couldn't survive anymore. So Jack shot him himself to make sure that if he had been bitten by a zombie, he wouldn't turn into one and become a threat to them. After that, the two of them begin taking all the necessary supplies from the dead man's car. Jack takes the dead man's shoes, and as soon as he puts them on, the other companions of the dead man arrive, and many armed people surround them. One man notices the shoes of their dead comrade on Jack's feet and starts to suspect that they killed his friend just to steal his belongings. Just as these people are about to kill Jack and Abigail, a pregnant woman steps out of the car and tells her companions to let them go. At that moment, the black horse again gives them a warning, and in the very next instant, loud noises start coming from the forest. A massive horde of zombies rushes towards them from all directions like a storm. They come so fast that no one gets the chance to escape, so everyone draws their weapons and fights right there. Although everyone had weapons, the number of zombies was just too overwhelming. One by one, many members of the group are bitten and killed. The survivors have no safe place to hide, and soon only a handful are left. One strong man unfortunately gets bitten by a zombie. He wants to shoot himself, but his gun has run out of bullets. Now they realize they cannot keep fighting, so Abigail quickly takes the pregnant woman into a car. Inside the car is also the pregnant woman's husband. Jack starts the car and they all escape from there. Out of the entire group, now only these 4 people remain alive. The rest all became victims of the zombies. One black-faced zombie, seeing his fellow zombies killed, becomes furious with rage. Meanwhile, the 4 survivors travel in the car, fleeing the zombies. On the way, Jack asks the woman sitting in the back, "Who are you, and what were you doing here?" On asking, it is revealed that these survivors were trying to reach a place called Shiptown, where humans live safely. There, they have all the necessary facilities and people can live a normal life. Hearing this, Abigail becomes very happy because this is exactly the place she had always dreamed of finding. But Jack replies, "There is no such colony anywhere. I've been wandering around for the last 10 years and I've never seen such a place." Suddenly, their car breaks down in the middle of the road. During this time, the pregnant woman's husband, named David, steps out and says, "I'm a mechanic. I can fix it." But without the proper tools, he fails to repair the car. So they decide to leave the car behind and continue their journey on foot. After walking for many kilometers, they arrive at a deserted housing society. Here, the tall buildings still stood, but everywhere there was a haunting silence of death. The group carefully explored the area first, and when they felt no immediate danger, they decided to spend the night there. That evening, they lit a fire and cooked food. Abigail, desperate to reach the place called Shiptown, began talking to the pregnant woman about it. The woman told her that they had already contacted the people living in Shiptown through radio, and she described it as a beautiful place where people could live freely. Hearing this, Abigail's eyes lit up with hope. Meanwhile, Jack went outside and set up traps all around so that even if they slept, they would be alerted the moment danger approached. Jack came back in, pulled out a map, and explained to everyone that he would guide Megan and David a little distance, and after that, the two of them would have to take separate routes. But Abigail wasn't happy with this decision. She argued with Jack, saying that David wouldn't be able to safely escort his pregnant wife all the way there alone. She insisted they should all go together. Jack replied firmly, "We need to be smart. Where there are more people, there is always more danger." Abigail, frustrated and angry with his decision, walked away. Neither of them realized that the black-faced zombie had already followed their car's scent and tracked them down to this very place. The next morning, Abigail was sitting on the rooftop looking at an old childhood photograph when she suddenly heard rustling sounds from the trees below. She immediately realized zombies had entered the area. She rushed downstairs to warn everyone, but one zombie chased her on the way. Abigail ran up the stairs, managed to push the zombie off, but in the process she lost her balance and was about to fall. At the last moment, Jack caught her and saved her. Moments later, the black-faced zombie arrived with its load, having tracked the place where their fellow had been killed. But many of them got caught in the traps Jack had set earlier, and several zombies were killed in the explosions. Hearing the blasts, Jack immediately understood that the horde had reached the place where they had camped the previous night and was still following them. The good thing,
But after Abigail repeatedly insisted, he finally agreed to go there. After that, they reached the airport, but there was no airplane there. Jack said, "See, I told you there wouldn't be any airplane here." But when they reached the small garage and opened its door, luckily they found a small airplane inside. Seeing this, they all became very happy, because now the path to reach Shiptown had become easier. But this airplane hadn't been used for many years. That's why mechanic David said it needed to be fixed. Not much, I can repair it in 10 to 15 minutes. While David was repairing the airplane, Jack and Abigail started searching around the airport for useful items. Meanwhile, David looked through binoculars and saw that a large number of zombies were coming from a distance and would soon reach the airplane. He ran to them and warned, "We have to start the airplane quickly. Otherwise, the zombies will reach here and kill us." Abigail quickly sat in the pilot's seat. She read the manuals there. Her father was a pilot, so she had learned some basic knowledge about controlling an airplane from him. Meanwhile, Jack tried to stop the zombies by shooting at them. Somehow, Abigail managed to start the airplane, but by then, it was too late. A huge horde of zombies had reached the runway. Their speed was quite fast, and one of them even reached the airplane's door. But Jack shot it and freed the airplane, while Abigail gained control of the plane. In this way, they finally took off. Everyone sitting in the airplane was very happy, because they would soon reach Shiptown directly. But this happiness lasted only for a short while. As they flew further, suddenly smoke started coming out of the airplane's engine, because it hadn't flown for the last 10 years. That's why its engine blasted, and the plane began to go downwards. Jack acted wisely and crash-landed the airplane into a tree, due to which they got a few injuries, but their lives were saved. The plane was no longer usable, so once again they had to continue their journey on foot. After walking for quite a long distance, they reached a deserted railway station. It was night by then. They checked the surroundings for danger, and when they didn't see any zombies, they decided to spend the night there. They looked at their location on the map and found that now they were only 2 days away from Shiptown. At this place, the pregnant lady came to Jack and thanked him. She said to Jack, "If it wasn't for you, we would never have made it here."
Hearing this, Jack also began to feel sympathy for Megan. He told her his story that 10 years ago, when this zombie virus first began, the very first person he had to kill was his own wife, because she was coming to bite him. Since then, the human inside him had almost died. Now in this world, the only person he had left was Abigail, whom he would keep alive at any cost. Jack also told Megan that his intentions had changed. "Now first of all, I'll get you to Shiptown." Hearing this, Megan became very happy. On the other side, we see Megan's husband David holding a gun to his own head, trying to kill himself. Actually, a zombie had bitten his leg, but David hadn't turned into a zombie yet because the wound was very small. That's why his conversion into a zombie was happening very slowly. Now he had decided that he would take his wife Megan to Shiptown and then separate himself from her. The next morning, the four of them continued their journey again. On the way, Jack began to notice something strange about David's behavior. Jack realized he was infected. So he grabbed him and took him to an empty spot where his wife and Abigail couldn't see. He rolled up David's bandage and saw the zombie bite mark. Now Jack was sure that David would soon become a zombie. Jack asked him, "Tell me, would you prefer to die by your own hand or should I kill you?" David replied, "I won't harm anyone. And if such a situation arises, I'll kill myself." So Jack let him go. As they continued walking, night fell and they saw a house ahead. Jack raised his gun and moved forward. Suddenly, a bright light flashed, and through speakers they were told to put their weapons down or be riddled with bullets. Now they realized someone human was inside. Abigail stepped forward and said, "We don't mean to harm anyone. We just need help." Then the owner of the house came out. He said, "You'll be given plenty of food here and a place to spend the night, but on one condition. You must all leave your guns outside." When they left their weapons outside, the man took them inside the house. Welcoming everyone in, he said, "I'm a scientist. I live here alone. If I wanted, I could leave, but such places make it easier for me to do my research." There, he served them very good food, which amazed them because they hadn't eaten such food in a long time. They paused on the food. After eating, the scientists also brought drinks for them. They all felt
They were happy because after so many days, everyone finally had a chance to sit comfortably and talk. But listening to the scientists, they felt something strange. The scientists said, "Look, this virus that has spread is indeed a terrible thing. But on the other hand, humans have also been upgraded. The weak ones will perish, and the strong ones will survive as zombies. Zombies live only to eat, not to progress. That's why zombies should rule the world. Hearing this, the four of them felt very uneasy. At that moment, David started feeling very unwell and went to the bathroom. Looking into the mirror, he saw that the virus had completely spread throughout his body. When David returned to the hall, he saw Jack and the others lying unconscious. The scientist had secretly mixed a drug in their alcohol to make them pass out. Seeing this, David attacked the scientist, but the scientist pressed a button on a device he was holding. David suddenly felt extremely weak and fell to the ground. The scientist said, "I created this device after years of hard work. With it, I can go anywhere in the world and zombies can't harm me. I have made a device that can control zombies. Now, I will become the king of the world and make everyone dance to my commands." After this, David lost consciousness. When he woke up, he saw that he and his companions had been tied up, and the scientist was about to experiment on them. After doing all this, the scientist said, "Do you want to meet my wife?" We then see the scientist's wife, who was a zombie, locked in a cage. The scientist fed her humans, and he had even tested the device on her. When the scientist opened the cage door, his wife immediately attacked him, but he controlled her and sent her toward the four companions. She attacked Jack, but he kicked her back. At that moment, David used the strength of the virus to break the ropes and free his companions. Sensing danger, the scientists ran away immediately. The four of them quickly gathered their belongings and rushed outside. Lucky, waiting outside, handed them the scientist's car, and they drove off toward the forest. But the scientist wasn't going to give up. Using his device, he controlled a horde.
After walking for a while, the zombies catch up to them again. David realizes that he doesn't have much time left. Soon he will turn into a zombie. So he tells the others to move ahead while he decides to stay back and hold off the zombies. But his wife doesn't want to let him go. David tells her, "You have to live for our child, and I'm doing all of this for our unborn baby." After saying this, David fights the zombies and faces them bravely. He manages to hold them off for a long time, allowing his companions to move far ahead. But then a zombie comes and kills David. Jack carries Megan in his arms and continues forward. Finally, they reach the place where a human settlement exists. Abigail starts shouting for help because there are still many zombies chasing them. Two guards sitting on the tower spot them and start shooting the zombies with sniper rifles, providing cover. Soon, a boat is sent for them and the three of them get into it, reaching inside Shiptown. The black-faced zombie stops his companions from moving forward because there's water ahead and they cannot cross it. On the other hand, Megan is about to give birth and urgently needs medical help. Fortunately, there are doctors and hospital facilities available there. The next morning, we see that this place has been developed into a town connected by several large ships, surrounded by water. Jack tells Abigail we should leave this place now, but Abigail decides to stay. She is enjoying herself being among people. This leads to a major argument between them. At that moment, a doctor arrives and informs them that Megan has given birth to a daughter, but due to excessive bleeding, she might not survive long. Hearing this, Jack feels sad and quickly goes to the hospital room. Megan is very weak and wants Jack to take care of her daughter, just like Abigail was raised. Jack recalls his deceased wife and agrees to keep Megan's daughter with him. Meanwhile, Abigail is enjoying herself with a handsome young man. She never imagined that so many people could gather together, drink, and dance to beautiful music. This makes her decision to stay even stronger. A little later, Abigail sees the handsome young man sneaking into a cabin, and she follows him inside. Once inside, she sees that the cabin is completely filled with wires and explosives. There is also a wireless switch hanging there. As soon as she touches the switch, the young man rushes in and tells her.
He explained that he had planted bombs under Shiptown. If this place ever fell into danger, people would escape through that route and the entire area could be blown up from outside. But neither of them had any idea that this day would come so soon. The scientist, now furious, reaches the site. He sees that these people have killed many zombies, whom he had intended to use to dominate the world. Using his control device, he takes control of the black-faced zombie king. With the scientist's help, the water under Shiptown could no longer save them. Many zombies rise from underwater and suddenly attack the people on the ships, killing many of them. Panic spreads among the people. Meanwhile, Jack learns that the zombies have attacked. Worried about Abigail, he starts searching for her. He fights through the zombies and finally finds Abigail. On the other side, the scientist also reaches the ship and punches Abigail, making her fall down. Seeing this, Jack angrily runs towards the scientist, but a zombie intervenes, pushing him into a tank below. The scientist follows and wants revenge, kicking Jack down. But Jack knew it was futile to fight the scientist directly. So he attacks the scientist and smashes the device in his hands against the wall. Now the scientist no longer has the power to control the zombies. Soon after, the old scientist falls prey to the zombies. Fortunately, the camp already had an escape route. Many of the remaining people reached the other side of the river through a tunnel. When it's time to activate the bombs, the handsome young man doesn't press the button because Abigail is still on the ship. Jack and Abigail start running outside, but from behind, the zombie king grabs Abigail. Jack quickly hits the zombie on the head with a piece of wood, causing it to fall backward. Suddenly, Abigail notices a bracelet tied to the zombie king's hand. It's the same bracelet she had made with her own hands for her father during her childhood. She realized that this zombie is her father, but now he is no longer human. He is turned into a zombie. Jack grabs him by the hand and forcibly pulls him to run. The handsome young man, seeing both of them escape, immediately presses the wireless remote button, turning all of Shiptown to ashes. However, the battle was not yet over. The camp leader comes clutching his neck because he had been bitten by a zombie during the fight. Before the virus could fully spread, the black-faced zombie had already attacked. Surprisingly, the zombie king also survived the blast. Immediately, Jack ran to fight the zombie king, but Jack was weakening in front of him. Seeing this, Abigail picked up a gun from the ground. Even though she knew the zombie king standing before her was her father, he was trying to kill Jack, the man who had raised and protected her. So, without a second thought, Abigail shot the zombie king, because if she hadn't, he would have killed everyone present there. Afterwards, Jack and Abigail hugged each other. Jack, Abigail, and the remaining people looked out toward a deserted weak island or area in the sea and decided to establish a new human settlement there.